Joining us, Patrick Saunders.
Regarding Sam Hilliard, he's been putting up some nice numbers as of late. We know that you guys have been working with him all year to cut down the strikeouts, to shorten the swing, all of that, which we've been over. What would be your progress report on Sam right now as we head toward the end of the year?
Well, I think it centers around those two things. I think Sam needed to make an adjustment with his swing. And he started with his, some of the mechanics, but the swing needed to be shorter. It needed to be more compact. It needed to have less moving parts. So that's where it's centered around. And with that, I think the strikeouts have lessened and should lessen in the future by him shortening his swing, making it more direct to the ball. And it started with his mechanics. So with that, in season adjustment, which is hard to do. So I give Sam a lot of credit. It's hard. The results have been there.
He's hit some balls to the gap, and we're all used to seeing the prodigious home runs from him because he's got that incredible power. But when you see him lining the balls into the gap, maybe not taking I don't want to say a full swing, but maybe just taking what's given to him, if that's a fair way to put it, is that a good sign? We've seen some of that lately.
Again, it goes back to more contact. I think with Sam and a lot of our younger players, and Sam's he's young service time wise, maybe not age wise, but you got to make contact in this game. There are a few sluggers who have prolific power and homer, but those fellows also walk. So that provides an on-base component, which eventually should provide a scoring run component. So if you're going to strike, in theory, Patrick, right? If you're going to strike out, you better homer and you better walk. Just broad base philosophy. With Sam, I think because of the change in his mechanics and being able to get to the ball a little cleaner, and I think more consistently moving forward, you'll see more base hits. I think you'll still see the power because he's got natural power. He's strong and big, and he's got strength. But you should see a higher batting average, and you should see the strikeouts coming down because he's hitting the ball more. So if you put all those things together, that's what we're looking for, and that's what Sam's looking for. That's what he wants too. This is a thing that the player wants these things too. The player wants to hit for average. He wants to get on base, and he wants to hit homers. An offensive player, and sometimes the swing gets in the way if it's not a major league swing.
All right, and let's finish up with Jeff Grammer of the Albuquerque Journal. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, buddy. They're wrapping things up here in Albuquerque this weekend with their final homestand anyway. So we're kind of putting a bow on the season. And I wanted to ask you, I know there's a lot of different ways to evaluate success of a Triple-A manager. I'm doing something on Warren, and so I just want to ask you, what do you look for out of a Triple-A manager, and did Warren meet your expectations this season?
Yeah, I think the thing that stands out, when you look at player development, you look at minor league managers, coaches, was there or is there a track for improvement amongst the players that he had? And a lot of times you don't know that until the following year or the year after that, or you can see it, in season as well if a guy made progress. whether offense, defense, on the pitching side. There's a lot of ways to, look at, player performance and improvement. I think that's a big part of what we look for, what I personally look for in player development staff. Team-wise, I think you always look for that, everyday intensity, effort, teamwork, every player being on board, being able to handle, 26 guys. And as it relates to Schaefer now in Triple-A for the first time, I think he's done an outstanding job. I'd give him high grades on that. It was a rough start, but he kept an even keeled mindset. I think there is a consistency to Schaefer that is it's a huge positive. That he keeps his energy at a high level, his leadership at a high level. His connection with the players, I think, is there. High marks there. So, for me, I'd give Schaefer high marks on all those things that I've talked about: player improvement, intensity, energy, team concept, which is hard in Triple-A because you got a lot of players, really selfishly trying to get to the big leagues and doing everything they can, to get out of Triple-A. But I give high grades to Schaefer for, all the things I just mentioned.
One quick follow there is that he's a guy that a lot of the players in this organization kind of grew up with. He was at Single A with them. He was at Double-A, and then he got here. He has a good relationship with a lot of young guys, but there were also guys like Motter this year and Greg Bird this year that have, been somewhere else, and he just met them this year that speak really highly of the relationship building. How much is his position about building a relationship with the players and so forth?
Yeah. Well, I think managing in this day and age, or being a head coach in the NFL or the NBA, I think more so than ever before, the connection with the players is so important. Long gone are the days of leadership styles of a generation ago. So now it's about communication. It's about connection. Being able to relate, all those things that I think go into leadership. And I think, and you sort of said it, guys like Motter, guys like Bird, who are older, have been elsewhere. Rio Ruiz joined that club in May. There's a few guys that popped onto that club from other organizations, but he's shown the ability to interact, engage, and lead guys from the oldest guy on the team, Motter, probably Ross Cup, to the younger guys, the 22-year-old Ryan Valet. So again, I think Schaefer's a good one. I think he's a really good one.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thanks, everyone.